passed 58 legislative bills out of 742 bills introduced in 2 years. Co-prizes for the Electoral Reforms Bill, Petroleum Industry Bill, and the Constitution Amendment Bill. More reactions as Twitter ban split the House of Representatives. This is the Hallowed Chambers. I am TVC. The Electoral Reforms Bill that has been trapped in the National Assembly will be aggressively considered before the Senate goes on its long recess in July. This is the latest assurance from the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan. He also says actions will be expedited on all other critical bills awaiting legislative attention, especially the Petroleum Industry Bill and the Constitution Amendment process.
Consider the PIB sometimes within this month of June. The Electoral Act amendment, this is one legislation that every Nigerian is asking for. Our committee on INEC, jointly with the committee of the House on INEC or electoral matters, have almost finished their work on the report, and we also will take the report within this period before we go on our summer recess in July.
Well, joining us on the program today is Senator Frank Ibezim, representing Imo North Senatorial District. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you, TJSU, for having me.
Yeah. So we'll delve straight into the matters now. You're a lawmaker and you have spoken passionately about education, especially at the basic level. How are you converting your passion for education into legislation that will strengthen this critical sector?
Truly speaking, there's need for us to appreciate the importance of foundational education. Because if we get it right with our kindergarten and primary school kids, then we'll get it right as a nation. So what we're trying to do is to get the Federal Ministry of Education and the Universal Basic Education Commission with the State Universal Basic Education as well to synergize and understand the usefulness of classroom library. And we've been able to do that, and we have a pilot scheme all over the country where they have donated back to each senatorial zone 10 classroom libraries. And what I am trying to do now is to make sure that those classroom libraries are being sent to requisite primary schools, and also making sure that the objective is being carried out. Because there are so many government ideas that are good, but the greatest challenge of our time is implementation. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. And as a member of the Committee on Basic and Secondary Education, I'm sitting and talking, trying to get together with them, my chairman, and the entire committee members to see part of our oversight function to make sure that, yes, it's only about 10 classroom libraries for a senatorial zone for now, but making sure that it's captured properly and it's being done well so that in the next budget, UBEC could be encouraged with the Federal Ministry of Education to add more. Part of what we're also trying to do is to get the private sector involved. Government can't fund everything. And there are well-meaning Nigerians who, if they see a project that would help the nation, will be interested in encouraging that to grow.
And are you getting the buy-in of the private sector already?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Part of what we did last 2 weeks when I went back to my constituency was to do my own pilot project. I started with 3 classrooms per local government. And I took quite some of those that supported me And you won't believe it, most of them are interested in donating classroom libraries in their own wards and booths. And, you know, once we can start from there, I believe that it will go through the entire nation. And once we can get education right foundationally, it will curb a lot of challenges.
And what would you say, so far that you have embarked on this project, what would you say has been lost to the decline in the reading culture in the country?
Well, you know that during our time, we at least had libraries. And I can't see real functional libraries today. I'm not talking about even state capitals, not to talk of local government areas. So the truth is education has suffered. And one way to begin to get it right is to catch our young children and, you know, encourage them to have the reading culture. And part of what we're trying to do is not just putting classroom libraries in the classroom, but having our parents buy in. Is it, you know, even if your parents are not educated, you would have relatives who are educated, who I'm sure with the teachers and the parents and relatives, if we can get the children to read 20 minutes a day and get back to the classroom, the teacher would vet it, make sure that when they went home, it was signed off. We have parents, students, library sign-on books, and we have teacher-student library sign-on book. So what we're trying to do is get our parents involved and get the teachers involved. And part of the way to do that is to encourage them by way of award and, you know, getting kids to compete after a while. Once we encourage our people, I believe that the responses will be good.
And how soon do we see this coming to play?
Well, we have started. Part of what we're doing. I went to Imo. The first thing we did was to go back, and once we spoke to His Excellency, our governor, about what we're doing, we invited the SUBEB chairman in Imo. And then we now went to locate those classroom libraries that were donated last year. And before we came to locate them, you won't believe it, some of them were back in storage. And now that we've gone in there and they know that we're interested, they have decided which schools they are donating those to. And part of what we're doing is making sure that those schools are getting them and making sure that we are now donating this parent, students, library book, and also the teacher student library book. And we've told them that we'll go back there in the next 2 weeks to check the schools that have gotten it, what they have done. And what we try to do is also read to the schools. Because a week ago, I went to the IDP here in Abuja. What we did was to demonstrate to the school what it is, how to read. We read to the students. We also made it possible for the students to take back those books that they had taken from the classroom to their parents, and these parents also read back. I have some clips of what we have done, where parents actually read back and for 20 minutes, and these kids are back to the teachers. So in IDP camp, they were excited. We just need to implement these things and have the buy-in of every stakeholder. So government ought to do its best. Truly speaking, private sector should get involved fully. Funding shouldn't be allowed in the hands of government alone.
Okay, we still have quite some number of issues to talk about, but we'll have to go on a short break now. When we return, Senator Frank Ibezim will be telling us about the Senate's second year anniversary in office. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice.
We're glad to have you back. If you're just joining us, we have been speaking with Senator Frank Ibezim, representing Imo North Senatorial District. Thank you for staying with us on the program.
Thank you again.
So the Ninth Senate is 2 years already, but not many people have confidence in the capacity of lawmakers to represent the interest of the people. Why so?
Well, again, I believe that people think that the way to be a great legislator is when they see you fighting with the executive. Well, I've only been a senator for barely a month, but I can tell you that the leadership of the Senate under Senator Ahmed has done quite well. I say so because what would be the most important thing is to hold the Senate together first. And I believe as the chairman of the National Assembly, he has not only held the Senate closely, he has also held the entire National Assembly. There's a relationship, great relationship between the Senate and the House of Reps. And you know that senators, you have a lot of accomplished Nigerian citizens. So being able to manage everybody and bring them together is a plus. However, having said that, Nigerians are only going to talk about development. 2 years of the National Assembly. You can't talk about the National Assembly without talking about the other two arms of government. Because if Nigeria is adjudged as doing very well, then you can say that the National Assembly is doing very well. If we have a lot of insecurity, youth restiveness, and all these myriads of challenges, it will be difficult for them to give the Senate thumbs up. But truly speaking, this Senate has been able to support the executive the way it ought to support them, and has also been stern at situations and points when it ought to be stern. Since the Fourth Republic, this is the first time that the budget in Nigeria has been implemented fully. So with that, you can give the Senate some kudos.
But oftentimes, the Senate is being accused of being a rubber stamp.
Well, yeah, the same Senate that has been accused as being a rubber stamp has also been accused as padding, trying to. So if you look at that, how can you be a rubber stamp and you're able to make imputes? So it doesn't.
You represent the people of Imo North Senatorial District, and your region has had its own fair share of security challenges. Do you think the government has not properly engaged with the people to stabilize the situation, especially with the loud secession calls from the southeast?
Well, you know, secession didn't start with the southeast. And I'm not sure it will end with the southeast. Sometimes when a people feel like they are oppressed, they have different ways of exercising their feelings and idea. For me, what is important is that it's always important for us to have an avenue to have discussions, find out what is this. It's not everybody in the Southeast, and I can tell you that it's not everybody in the Southeast is talking about seceding. So majority of Southeasterners are part of this. Everybody from the Southeast is part of Nigeria. And majority of Southeasterners, they are complaining, yes. But part of the complaint is the same thing that the Southwest is complaining, or South-South, and that is why we're talking about review of the Constitution. Without complaints, there won't be any need for review of Constitution.